It's Thursday the 15th of June. Welcome to the Dan James Show.
Day and night, I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind. I look for peace, but see I don't attain what I need for keeps this silly game we play. Now look at this, madness the magnet keeps attracting me. I try to run but see I'm not that fast. I think I'm first but surely finish last. Cause day and night, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone through the day and night. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night, day and night. The lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. He's all alone, some things will never change. The lonely loner seems to free his mind at night. At night.
Welcome to the show. I've got Ryan on. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I wasn't doing good the day after the general election on the 9th of June. I forget what day that was. That was a Friday, actually, wasn't it?
It was.
That was an absolutely terrible election.
It was. It was my first one I was a part of, and it was interesting for me because it was my first experience. But
yeah,
Facebook was a bit hectic.
It was. Do you want to say anything about the election, or?
I mean, I'm new to politics, so I don't know too much about it. But apparently, for the result we've got, it could have gone better. That's all I know.
Yeah, it was. It was an interesting election. The first knocking my mic there. So on the last episode, the general election special, me, Kieran, and Elliot all predicted a Conservative majority. I predicted 342 seats, and Jesus, do I look like an idiot now? Because it's not like that at all. Kieran predicted 331, so he's pretty close, and Elliot predicted similar. So, moral of the story there is you can never trust what I say, because I just get every prediction wrong. But yeah, it was a terrible election. Just two people who were just awful. Even Theresa May, the person I voted for, was probably one of the worst campaigners that I've ever seen. Just a mess after mess after mess. If she would have gone against Tony Blair, she probably would have lost all her seats. That's how bad she was. Or even if she would have gone against Ed Miliband, she would have lost. So she's lucky that she went against someone so incompetent. But yeah, the Conservatives are now going to go into a coalition with DUP. That'll be next week that they'll be announced, which is quite unfortunate. But luckily, they probably won't be demanding much because they aren't in the position to do so. And the reason for that is if the DUP don't enter any kind of agreement with the Conservative Party, they're basically handing power to Labour and Sinn Féin, and they do not want that. They don't want that at all. So they're quite happy to bow down to Theresa May's demands, I think. But let's get off of that subject, because that's just going to depress me if I keep thinking about that terrible campaign and that terrible election.
At least the Conservatives are still in. That's the bright side for you.
Yeah. At least we don't have Comrade Corbyn and the United Soviet States of Great Britain.
From your perspective, what's so bad about Corbyn? And like I said, I'm new to politics. I literally voted for Corbyn because he's supposedly appealing to the younger people with like tuition fees and stuff like that. And I thought if I can save money, I'll go for it. But that's purely because I'm new to politics. I know nothing about it. So, like, from your standpoint, what makes the Conservatives stand out against like Labour and Corbyn?
It isn't the Conservatives stand out, because I read their manifesto and agreed with about 50% of it, which is a bad ratio for any party. I almost voted Liberal Democrat, actually. The thing that stopped me was the fact that on their second referendum for Brexit, they were going to campaign against no matter what deal they got. And that to me is just, it's anti-democratic. You can't go doing that. The people have voted for Brexit, now it has to happen. And it has to be a full proper Brexit. You can't stay in some of the bits just because we're liberals. No, you can't do that. You have to leave completely. And I didn't think Tim Farron was going to do that, so I had to not vote for him. I respect anyone that did. I agreed with many of the Liberal Democrat policies, and even the ones I didn't agree with, I thought were sensible. The legalisation of cannabis is huge for me. Being a libertarian, I think all drugs should be legal. So that's definitely a big step in the right direction for me, but I can't vote for an anti-democratic candidate in my view. Labour, if Labour would have been led by Andy Burnham, which is who I wanted to win the leadership election in 2015 ahead of Jeremy Corbyn, I would have voted for Labour, because I actually think Andy Burnham's okay. But the reason I hate Jeremy Corbyn is because he's a socialist. And if you look into the history of socialism, you'll realise that it is an absolutely terrible social theory that has caused hundreds of millions of deaths in Russia, China, Cambodia. Cambodia is one of the most awful examples. And no one that praises the people who have followed that policy should be anywhere near public office. None of them should be. And look, Corbyn praised, Diane Abbott praised Chairman Mao. She was going to be a high up minister in his cabinet. Chairman Mao killed 72 million people. We can't have a person that allows someone like that into their cabinet. We just can't have that person. That's like allowing Richard Spencer into power. Richard Spencer's a white nationalist. It's the same, but on the left.
Yeah.
So I don't dislike Labour supporters, because I feel like a lot of them had no choice, or felt like they had no choice. They disagree with the Conservatives so much that they won't vote for them. They think Tim Farron is made of paper, which he may as well be. So they thought, well, I have to vote Labour even though I hate Corbyn. And I feel like I'm the same, but on the other side. I dislike Labour and I couldn't vote Lib Dem, so I had to vote Conservative, and I don't like Theresa May. So I can see why people voted Labour, but the people I hate are the Corbyn supporters, the actual Corbyn supporters, because they're socialists. And socialists in my book are as bad as fascists, but that's another subject. Shall we move on?
I definitely, final thought, I definitely think the problem with this election was, obviously, Theresa May, she wanted her own mandate to go forward with. Yeah. And the way the manifesto came across was so bad that people were like, well, if this is what she wants, I can't follow that.
That manifesto gave me cancer. Like, Jesus Christ.
If it was written better, I think the majority would have been easily obtained.
Just throw it in the fire and come up with a new one. That whole manifesto was pretty terrible. If you're going to make me only agree with 50% of it, then you're doing something wrong. Like, fox hunting, what? Like 90% of people hate fox hunting, so you bring it back?
Yeah.
And the dementia tax and all of that stuff, like, go and copy some of the Lib Dem policies. Say you're going to legalise cannabis. Instantly you get a load of young people on your side. You nullify Jeremy Corbyn's effect. Go and say, we're going to lower taxes. That brings most of the population onto your side. And then, she could have won 500, maybe 500 seats with that. But no, she went and said, I'm going to legalise fox hunting. What are you doing, Theresa?
Like, fox hunting for me is, like, as soon as I heard fox hunting's coming back, I'm like, well, I can't, agree with that.
Yeah.
It's been something that's gone for a while, and you want to bring that back when no one wants it.
Yeah, yeah. That's where, that's where you throw your fucking laptop out the window and leave the country. You're like, oh fuck.
I watched the election up until it was a confirmed hung parliament. I was like, right, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to bed. I've had enough.
It was 4:30 for me. It was 4:30, and I thought that this is it. We've got a brilliant. We've got a hung parliament again. Fucking
So
fantastic.
I remember, like, as soon as it started, I'm like, well, clearly I'm expecting it to come up saying that the Conservatives are going to get a majority. But the second it said it's predicted a hung parliament, I was like, okay, this is going to be a very interesting night, because you told me to look for the exit polls, and then I
Yeah,
had a
they're
look at
always
them.
correct. They're always correct. They weren't actually. They actually
year-
weren't in
this year they were off.
2015. 2015 they weren't. They predicted a Conservative minority, and David Cameron won another 15 seats, which gave him the majority. But it was thought
He
that
messed up as well. What's wrong with the Conservatives? Because you got Cameron, who gets forced into calling a referendum.
by UKIP. The
By UKIP,
UKIP surge forced him to do that.
And then he
Lost.
steps down because he didn't get the answer he wanted. And then Theresa May's like, well, I need more seats, so I'm going to call an election. And then she loses out on seats.
Literally the only reason she lost out on seats is because of the manifesto. The manifesto, she just shit the bed with it. She could have won 400 seats with a good manifesto, and she fucked up. It was her advisors that didn't help, but she's the boss. She should be saying, no, we're not going to bring back fox hunting. Why would we do that? We're going to lower taxes, because that gets people to vote for you. If you say, we're going to lower... This is how John Major won. He promised a flat tax rate of 20%, and Thatcher was moving towards that as well. But that's how he won. You promise people lower taxes, they're going to vote for you. Because everyone wants more money. This is a capitalist society. It's obvious.
I mean, a lot of people are now saying that they expect there to be another election this year.
Nah, she won't. She won't do it. I think she's going to... She's a prisoner to the rest of the Conservative Party now. They're going to tell her what to do. I think we're going to leave Europe, and then we're going to call an election. By which time I won't be in this country, because I do not want to see a socialist take charge of this country. No way. That's where I move to America or New Zealand or Australia. Or maybe not. Everything tries to kill you in Australia, as I say, so I'm not going to move to Australia.
Dead man walking in Australia.
Yeah, those snakes are eyeing you up. You're their dinner.
Second you land, they're like, well, there he is.
Yeah,
Money boys.
It's the opposite in Australia to the rest of the world, because in the rest of the world, you're the hunter. Well, you're not the hunter. You buy the meat off the counter in Tesco, but you are technically the hunter because you're eating other animals. In Australia, you're the hunted. The crocodiles are looking at you like, if he strays off that path, I'm gonna eat that motherfucker. Everything
Actually,
tries to
a very
kill
interesting
you over
story about Australia.
there. Oh, really?
Yeah, well, it's not my story, it's my mum's. She used to work with someone that had family in Australia,
Yeah.
and they knew he was afraid of spiders. So he went to visit them for Christmas,
Yeah.
and like he saw his family and whatnot. And the day he got there, he went into like the toilet, and he looked in the top corner and he saw like a spider the size of a large dinner plate in the corner.
Oh, tarantula.
Yeah, and
Those aren't even dangerous, though.
And like he was expecting, he looked at it and he thought, okay, very funny. Like he thought it was like a prop, as a toy, like as a joke for them to scare him. And like he used the toilet and everything, and he went back out to his family, and he said to them, like, very funny, like, I get the joke, like it's finished now, it's over. And they were like completely confused about what he was talking about. It's like he explained to them that he saw the spider and everything. They went back into the toilet for him to show them the spider, and it was gone. Now, if that was me that saw it had gone, I'd book a plane ticket there and then.
Yeah, I'd be like, nah.
I'm out the country.
Nah.
I mean, I don't even want to step foot in that country. I mean, I've heard it's lovely, but I don't want to die.
Yeah, those fucking spiders that chase you. There's a spider that chases you. A fucking spider that chases you, that's poisonous, that kills you. Like,
I believe they
what
have
the
jumping
fuck?
spiders as well.
Yeah, they've got jumping spiders. Like everything, there's like several different kinds of snake that kills you. And when I say kinds, I mean species. Like not species, as in like the kind of
Like the
category
family.
of snake. So under that, you've got 20 snakes. So there's hundreds of snakes that'll kill you over there. They've got tarantulas which hurt but don't kill you, which is huge. And then you got the tiny ones like the black widows that kill you instantly.
Yeah.
Why would anyone live there? I just don't get it.
Nice weather, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's all I can add to it. Nice weather.
But I mean, the weather's nice in Afghanistan sometimes. That doesn't mean I want to go and live there, you know.
Very true. That's very, very true.
So a final word on the election: absolute disaster. Somehow Corbyn thinks he won, and I just don't get how he can be that stupid. Like, no, Jeremy, you didn't win a majority of the seats. The Conservatives did. You lost the election. You might have done well, but you lost the election. But he still thinks he's won. He still thinks he can be Prime Minister. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get how it can be so stupid.
I mean, I think I support. I'm not saying I'm a Labour supporter. I voted for Labour, but I've seen so many people on my Facebook saying, "Labour won, congratulations, you've done an amazing job," and I'm sitting here, but they're not in Parliament, so they didn't win.
But they lost. Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't win. They lost.
Though. Like they got 262 seats. You need 326. That's a long way off. You know, if that was Ed Miliband, he would have resigned.
Yeah.
You know,
Very true.
I kind of think. I wonder if Labour are going to push him out. I wonder if they're going to say that you didn't win, so get out. You know, and I wonder if they're going to try and push him into being replaced with some kind of centrist candidate, someone like Dan Jarvis or something. I like that guy. I don't know. I don't know if I'd vote Labour ever again, because
It's going to be interesting.
they're on, they're on the social justice side. They're on the side of political correctness, and I hate that. And Conservatives seem to stand against it. So I'm going to vote for the. Ooh, I just broke my pen. I tend to vote for the party that stand against that shit, and I can't see Labour ever doing that. But hey. So shit election. Awful election.
Had a shit E3.
A what?
E3 was terrible this year.
I heard E3 was terrible.
It's
Talk to us about E3 because I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so the big points for E3 that ring bells to me is the two big players of Microsoft and Sony. Sony's conference was terrible, as in it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I'd rather go and lick a camel's ass.
How was it bad?
The games they were showing, like, no one wanted to see them. It was just remakes.
Remakes. Oh.
It was literally just remakes. The only games that they did show, which is appealing to me, the Spider-Man game that's coming out looks decent. They also showed the first multiplayer clip for Call of Duty World War II, which surprisingly actually does look very good. I know it's the same thing said every year, like, oh my god, the Call of Duty this year looks amazing, I can't wait. But I think Sledgehammer's done really well with what they've got so far. They've sort of done the same style as Battlefield 1. They've taken away creator class and they've given you areas within the war, like your armory, medic, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's one of the only things I heard, though.
I think if that's a good step because they want it to be as authentic as possible. Yeah. And if you've got a medic running around with a sniper, that's not really realistic.
No, you get those overpowered classes,
Yeah.
There's there's two what game was it? It was in Black Ops 2.
Yes.
I always used to use the automatic shotgun or the Remington, and you were unstoppable with that. It's because it was one shot kill before all the patches. Before all the patches, that Remington was
I
just
think Black Ops 2 is
ridiculous.
the best one ever. Like the multiplayer for Black Ops 2 for me was the best.
Yeah, it's my favourite as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a remaster next year.
Oh,
It
another
wouldn't surprise
remaster.
me.
Another
Would not surprise
remaster.
me.
Wow.
And then obviously the big talking point for everyone was Microsoft's announced a new console. Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they announced the Xbox One X, which does native 4K. And it's like, okay, but why should I buy it? Oh, but it does 4K.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I get that.
Let me
but
just
why?
buy a PC, which I
Yeah,
can use a mouse on.
I mean, that's the argument I've had, because there was a massive argument going on Facebook saying, oh, the Xbox worthless, and then obviously
It is
you get all the
worthless.
fanboys coming to the rescue like, oh, but it's amazing, it does this better than PlayStation.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it better than PC, does it?
Exactly. I mean, they've announced a console that they're trying to put a PC form factor into a console format.
Doesn't work.
But for the price you're paying, so they want $500 in the US market. For $500, you could buy a PC that will play all the modern games at 60 frames on medium to high settings, which would be a lot better than you would get on the console.
What are the specs for the for new Xbox? Because I saw it was 8 core, but the thing is with
They didn't announce the clock speed, I don't think.
okay, but I was gonna say the thing is and 16 gig of RAM. But my argument with that is if you can have 8 cores and 16 gig of RAM, but if it's a poor quality of RAM and a shit CPU with a bad core speed, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, you may as well have 1 core. You know, I've just built a PC. I just built a PC in inverted commas. This was like a month ago, and I got an i7 7700 with 16 gig of Corsair RAM. Okay, I could have got a 5700, which is 5700. Am I saying that right? I might not be. What did I have before? What CPU did I have before? Let me just have a look at this. I had a 3770S last time. It has the same amount of cores, yet it's half as quick. So Xbox going to use like a 2700 in their Xbox, in which case it's useless.
Yeah, they need to have a beefy processor.
And what about the GPU? Because that's what matters, really.
Yeah, the GPU's meant to be pretty powerful. I mean, it's got to be if it's doing 4K, because otherwise the frames are going to be choppy. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, 4K is not even consumer yet, so why this console's coming now, I don't know. Because it's a console no one's asked for. And I understand why they've done it. They've done it because they want to try and get back some market share, because they've got none. The only thing Microsoft have is America. Whereas Sony's got the Asian market and they've got the world market.
And the growth of PC is shrinking their share as well. Sony and Microsoft is shrinking their share.
I mean, Microsoft are shooting themselves in the foot, because all the games they're releasing now on Xbox, it comes with a caption underneath saying available on Xbox and the Windows Store.
Yeah. And
But if that game's available on the Windows Store, I'll just buy it on a PC.
Yeah, I'll just buy it on Steam, because on Steam it's half the price.
Okay, what's the point of buying an Xbox? For the same price, you can buy something that's more powerful, and you can use any controller you want with it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just silly, and you know, PC is expensive. It's expensive to get started, but
It is.
once you get started, you've got a PC that's going to last 5 or 6 years. There's no re-releases. You know, look, for console to catch up with the advancements in computer technology, they're going to have to start releasing a console every 2 years.
Yeah, easily.
You could just build a PC for, you know, £1,600 top end. You won't have to replace that thing for 4 or 5 years.
I mean, especially with the new processor coming out from Intel, because they announced the new Gamer series.
Yeah, is
The
it the
i9
i9?
looks amazing.
That's like, yeah, no one needs it though. Like, no one needs the i7.
It's $2,000.
Yeah, I mean, like, the i9, no gamer needs an i9. It's silly. It's like the 1080 Ti. No one needs a 1080 Ti yet.
The 1060 is good enough at the moment.
I've got a 1070 and that runs everything.
I mean, I've got a 1050 Ti,
Yeah.
but I'm going to upgrade it in the next few months, hopefully.
I consider getting a 1080 because in that case, I'm future proof for the next couple of years, at least. Maybe in the next 3 years if things slow down a little bit. I doubt they will, but if they do. But I went with a 1070 just because I thought, well, I can upgrade it. I can sell the 1070 and get a 1090 if it comes out, Or
I mean, I don't think they're going to do the 1090. I think they'll jump straight to the 2000 series.
Fair enough. Or
But we're not there.
2001. Whatever's out at that time, whatever is out in 2 years, because maybe in 2 years the graphics card won't be good enough. That's fine. It doesn't cost as much as a new console.
I mean, at least the PC market's moving forward.
Yeah.
And then you got companies like Apple that are still stuck in the past.
Yeah, I mean.
And I mean, I own a lot of Apple products, but
Yeah.
Their conference this year, there was a good announcement with the iMac Pro. That looks beautiful. But obviously, I'm assuming you know what a MacBook Air is.
Yeah, I've got one. That's what I'm recording them, actually.
Oh, nice. I'm using my MacBook as well. They announced a new version of the MacBook Air this year.
Yeah.
The exact same specs as last year, but the processor's got a 0.3 gigahertz upgrade.
Wow.
That's it.
That big 0.3, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between the 7700 Intel 7700 and the 7700K. Literally 0.2 gigahertz. That's it.
It's not much when you look at it. It's not that much of a difference.
There's a £50 price difference as well between those two processors.
I mean, I suppose with Intel it's a bit different because obviously with the higher models you got the hyper threading, especially with quad core as well. That's even better. But it's still dual core in the MacBook Air. They need to make it quad core if they're gonna gain any more market.
Imagine Mac with quad core, with the OS having less waste.
I love Mac OS more than Windows. Ever since I started using it.
The problem with the Windows OS is there's so much waste. There's so many background processes that do little things that take up so much of the processor's time, so much of the RAM. When you install something, it leaves a million files everywhere. On Mac, it's literally just one file, one package. You delete it, it's gone. But Windows, it's like DLL here. You got some file directory that you've never seen before. You don't know what it does. Just everywhere.
You can open an application, it'll work fine.
Yeah.
You shut down your computer, you reboot it on Windows. This DLL file's missing, but it was working an hour ago.
Yeah. Silly.
I mean, Windows 7 was perfect.
I've got 8. That's what I'm talking to you on, because I'm talking to you on my PC, but I'm recording on my Mac, because I don't want. If something goes wrong with my PC, I don't want to lose this recording. So that's why I'm recording on the Mac. But yeah, I've got 8.1, and for the past couple of weeks I've had this error come up. I don't know if you've heard of it, the unsupported hardware error.
I've heard of it, yeah.
So, in an attempt to get everyone to upgrade to Windows 10, Windows put this prompt up to get Windows 8 users up to Windows 10. But if you've got a new processor, it doesn't work. So it comes up with an unsupported hardware error. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if you didn't close every other or minimize every other fucking window on your PC. So you can be gaming, and all of a sudden this error pops up, and all of a sudden your game's minimized and you've been killed and you've lost everything, and your fucking dog's dead and horrible shit. I just found a patch though that seems to be working, so I'm really happy with that. It's called Zephy's patch. But what else from E3? What else went on? I heard a lot about Bethesda. A lot of people criticising them. I don't know what it's about though.
I didn't hear about that one. I mean, I literally watched the Sony one because I was anticipating they were going to show us more from The Last of Us Part 2. But clearly they haven't got that interest in their minds because everyone was waiting for that. Maybe they'll announce it at Gamescom, hopefully. But other than that, Sony's E3 was terrible. I've heard Nintendo's is good.
I've not seen anything. They said something about Nintendo Switch, didn't they?
Yeah.
Something about Nintendo Switch is happening that a lot of people are happy with. I haven't watched it though. I heard something about Bethesda with paid mods, and I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so I don't know whether it's good or bad or whatever.
Let's see, what did they do right? Oh yes, of course. They announced Metroid for the Switch.
Metroid 2.
I believe, Metroid 4.
4. Yeah, that's an old school game, isn't it? I don't think I've ever played that.
They announced a remake of Metroid 2 for the 3DS. And then they've obviously got the Metroid coming out. They've got Rocket League.
Ooh. For Switch, is that? That might have been what I heard.
It's very interesting. Rocket League's a really good game. I enjoy that.
I've never really played it.
It's a good game once you get used to the controls. I mean, the biggest announcement that I saw from everyone combined was Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
That's a massive game in the Asian market. And the fact it's coming to the Western world, so to speak, is big.
Is that similar to
Final
Pokemon
Fantasy?
Go? Oh.
Similar to Final Fantasy.
Oh.
So basically you're in an open world, and you basically either you can do it by yourself or you can do it in squads. You can hunt down and kill monsters, get XP, go on quests, stuff like that.
Huh.
There was no new Skyrim announced either.
No.
It's been 6 years.
Didn't they announce that they were going to remaster it again?
I don't know about the remaster, but I did see that Sony announced that it's coming. Elder Scrolls 5 Online is coming in VR.
Oh, great. They said they were going to make Fallout 4 in VR. Yeah, in VR as well. It's a new purchase, which is great. I don't know, if I get VR though, I'm going to get Fallout 4 in VR. I'm just going to live in the Fallout world.
Like, Dan's gone missing.
Yeah.
His show's been retired for 12 years.
Yeah. I'm just going to do the show in Fallout 4. Just, with what's his face? The fucking robot. I've forgotten his name.
I've heard good things about Fallout, but I've never played it.
You've never played a Fallout game?
Are they good? Are they worthwhile?
Yes. Fallout New Vegas is my favourite game of all time. It's just incredible, A lot of people said bad stuff about Fallout 4, but to be honest, Fallout 4 is probably in my top 20. It's a very good game. I really enjoyed it. New Vegas is top though. It's just number one. It's fantastic. I spent hundreds of hours on that game. I think I've completed it 3 or 4 times. Hardest difficulty, not showing off or anything.
I've never actually generally completed a game to 100% in my entire life.
I didn't complete. You can't complete Fallout New Vegas to 100%.
Okay.
It's too much. Very few people have done it.
Like, I've completed storylines and stuff like that, but I've never
Yeah.
been one to get the 100%.
I got 100% on Assassin's Creed, the pirate one. What's the pirate? Black Flag. I got 100% on that.
A new Assassin's Creed was announced.
Yeah, I heard about that.
My dad said it looked really good.
Yeah, I've seen one clip. Looks okay.
There's a $800 collector's bundle with it.
Who would buy that?
Yeah. Like, oh, if you want to spend a little bit more money, we've got an $800 version. It's like, I could just about afford the $60 game, so
You've got to have never seen a vagina in your life to buy that.
pretty
Like,
much.
You got to be the biggest virgin ever. Like,
You know,
Jesus.
you've got to have like, ad blocks, the lot.
Yeah.
But it comes with like a 26.5-inch statue.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, if you're one to collect statues, then fair enough. I mean, the only reason I can see someone buying the collector's bundle
It's
is to
reviewed,
maybe
right?
put it in storage.
Oh, like a business move.
Yeah,
That makes
like-
sense. If you're saying,
Yeah.
right, I'm going to invest in this, that's different. Investing is different to buying.
I mean, if you really want to buy the bundle to jack off over a statue, by all means, go for it. But
Yeah, I mean, go for it, but, I think you're a virgin if you do that,
just think how many genuinely amazing games you could buy on Steam for $800.
You could buy Steam. You could buy all of Steam for that.
You can buy a good collection of that.
Like, I bought the Steam collection for like 50 quid.
Nice.
It's got all of Half-Life, all of Portal in it. I played Portal 1 and 2. I've not got around to Half-Life yet. I keep meaning to get around to it and I just never do.
A lot of people are like, please let there be a Half-Life 3 done.
Never going to be a
year.
Half-Life 3.
They're not going to do it. I
No.
think Gabe's had enough.
No. He's just teasing it to troll people. He's never going to make it.
And this is where like he passes away, and they're all like, there's been an announcement about Half-Life 3. Gabe didn't want it announced until he passed away. Everyone's going to get excited, and then he's going to be like, I'm just joking, this ain't happening. And then everyone's going to be mad, they're going to hate him.
They're going to uninstall Steam.
Yeah, let's just uninstall Steam.
You're going to go Westboro Baptist Church on his funeral.
Exactly. And, everyone will just move over to Ubisoft's Uplay.
Fucking never. Now you're
That
going too
software is
far.
so-
the
the only
Westboro
the only
Baptist
game I
Church.
play on there, is Rainbow Six Siege, and that's the only reason I installed it.
And that experience makes you want to slash your wrists because I've heard stuff about Uplay, and Uplay I've heard is like it's just like putting your
AIDS,
face
that's what
in
it is.
lava.
It is genuine AIDS because you add someone, they don't show up on your list. You both restart your clients, they're still not on your list, and then they show up on your list and then they disappear. And it's like,
Awesome.
Ubisoft, you're clearly doing something wrong.
Awesome. Steam's great. I like Steam.
I love Steam.
Steam's really good. It's a really good client.
I
It works really well.
It does. It really does, because you've got the market, you've got your friends, you can see what games your friends are playing, what games your friends want,
Yeah.
and it works on Mac.
Yeah, it's one of the very few things that work on Mac. Good luck finding a game that actually works on Mac, though.
Yeah.
Like Civ 4 works on Mac. I used to play that, but I mean, what's the point in playing a game on Mac? You're going to be
Nobody
playing
plays
on
games on
lower
Mac.
settings. It's going to look like 1999. Going to look like you're playing on the Amstrad again. Like it's
The
going to
only
look
game-
terrible.
The only game worth playing on Mac is Pac-Man when you're bored.
Yeah,
That's it. And if you
Absolutely.
play anything else, then you need to uninstall your life, because
Yeah.
PC is where gaming is at.
absolutely.
Unless
Completely
like,
agree.
unless they want to turn around and be like, oh, by the way, here's a new Mac Pro that's got like 12 cores with 64 gig of RAM and an NVIDIA 1080 Ti in it, then by all means, do it.
64 gigs of RAM. Who would need? I'm a producer. I only need 8 gigs of RAM.
I mean, I know I watch a few YouTubers and they're like, got a new PC set up. I've got 256 gigs of RAM.
What
Like,
the fuck?
what? Why?
Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, I've got 16 gig in my PC, and that's like the most I can put in, unless I buy 2 sticks of 16 gig because my motherboard's only got 2 slots.
Yeah,
But 16 does me.
yeah.
After Effects runs fine.
Getting 256 gigs of RAM is like masturbating 8 times in a day. You don't need to do it. It's too much. It's way
You
too
do it.
much. You know, you don't need to be doing that to yourself.
Yeah.
Just once or twice is enough. You know, just a 16 gig is enough.
I mean, 32, we're pushing to the point now where people will need to start considering 32.
For professional uses, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're like a film producer, 32 is probably what you need, really. But you could get by on 16, you know. But 32 is kind of the what you'd like, you know.
I mean, I'd say at least 85% of just the general public, non-professional people, 8 gigabytes will be fine for them.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Because the most things people do is they'll go on YouTube, they'll go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your basic sites. They'll read a bit of news on the BBC website and stuff like that.
They'll get fed with
yeah.
They'll get fed with the propaganda from the Guardian, you know.
Yeah.
All that shit. Have you seen some of the shit that they post?
I haven't. I mean, I stopped looking at the Guardian when Lego turned around and went, "We're no longer supporting this paper because all you put out is hatred and propaganda, essentially."
Towards conservatives, yeah. They preach to be so nice and liberal and progressive, yet every time they write about conservative, it's just hate. You know, they're accusing everyone on the right of being racist, and you can't claim to be nice and do that. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't do both. You can't have both.
I mean, I'd go as far to say that I'm in the middle. I understand people have their opinions and they're allowed to do that because
Yeah.
I mean, democracy is what it's there for. You know, I mean, with Brexit, for example, you had people saying, "Okay, the Leave Party has won. We're not happy about that. Loads of people that voted Leave are now upset because of what's happened, and they would vote Remain now instead. Let's do a second one." And it's like, but democracy doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way.
You've lost, accept the result. And they've done the same with the general election. Labour didn't win. Okay, let's do another one because Labour didn't win.
Oh, fuck's sake, it's ridiculous. The thing is, you don't see the Conservatives doing this. You don't see Conservative people doing this. You see them saying, "Right, okay, we're gonna prove you wrong because we know you're gonna fuck this up." You know, like the same happened in America when Donald Trump won. They won another election. It's like, no, you don't get another election. Hillary Clinton fucked it up, and now you got Donald Trump as president for the next 4 years. Maybe next time put a decent candidate in and you'll win. You know.
I mean, the rumour is that The Rock's meant to be running in 2020.
If The Rock runs, I am moving to an island by myself. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, the election's now turning into a political election into America's Got Talent, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're letting any Tom, Dick or Harry run for it, and that's stupid.
But doesn't that say something about their system? That people are so fed up that they'd vote for The Rock ahead of Paul Ryan. Or they'd vote for The Rock ahead of Joe Biden. You know?
I love Joe. Joe's amazing.
Yeah. I have an issue with some of the things he said in the past, but you know.
He's a good person to meme.
Yeah, good meme. I didn't really... In that election, I didn't want either of them to win. I wanted a 50-50 split. Because it was so bad. It was just so awful. I wanted Gary Johnson to win. But I knew that wasn't going to happen. So, I just... It was just such a sad election to see. Because you knew either way they were fucked.
Yeah. Regardless of the outcome, they were screwed.
It's literally like a Catholic choir boy choosing which priest gets to abuse him. You know, like either you get abused by the one who's insane, or you get abused by the one who's evil. You know, it's awful.
I mean, talking about America, something I found very interesting is obviously, you know, we had the conflict recently with America and Korea.
Yeah.
Don't you find it funny how like it's major news, like everyone's going crazy about it, and then it just stops, and nothing's said about it. It just stopped.
Yeah, it's because there's a new moral panic.
Yeah. Like it's crazy that when you really look at it, how much power the media has over everyone's daily lives.
They won't soon. More and more people are becoming active. They're using their minds. You know, like back in the 70s, the media controlled everything. They controlled elections, but they don't anymore. And Donald Trump is proof of that. That was the first time that a anti-media candidate won, and he was explicitly like against the mainstream media, but he still won. And that's proof that the media don't control elections anymore. You know, there's an interesting study that shows that in British elections, the candidate that the Sun supported always won. So in the 80s they supported Thatcher, and then they supported Major. But then when Blair started running, because Major was going to put some policies in if he won in '97, because Major was going to put policies in that were against the Sun's interests, they switched to supporting Blair, and Blair won in '97 with a landslide. And then they continued to support Blair until 2008 when they crashed the economy. Then Brown took over, and he was going to put some policies in which weren't in the Sun's interest. So they started supporting Cameron, and Cameron won. But 2010 was interesting because it was the first time where a candidate didn't win a majority, or rather where the Sun's candidate didn't win the majority. So they had to go with the Liberal Democrats. Then 2015, the Sun supported Cameron, and he won. And in 2017, they've been supporting May, and she won. But bear in mind, in the past 7 years, there's been two minorities. There's been two hung parliaments and two minorities. So it's clear that the Sun has less influence over who wins elections nowadays, and that's a good indicator to the media having less power over who wins elections. Because I mean, the media was anti-Corbyn, yet he still won 26 seats. So he clearly don't have that much power.
It's definitely good that they're starting to think now.
Yeah, think for themselves.
You need to, because otherwise you're just gonna be sucked up into a system, and it's what governments want. They want you to follow a strict system. They don't want any rebellion. And I think you need to rebel, because otherwise you're just going to get, like I said, trapped in the system.
Not violently, though. Not
violent. There's no point in violence, because it won't get you anywhere. It's just going to end up with the government putting out stricter policies.
Yeah.
And it's not going to help.
Or you'll lead to the wrong people getting in charge.
Yes.
Which is what happened in Russia and what happened in China. And then you go down an awful, awful path where you get Mao killing 72 million people. You get Stalin killing 20 million people. That millions of people just start dying when you start using violence. It just isn't worth it. You gotta rebel through voting. You gotta rebel through the democratic principles, which is what people did in this election. And Corbyn did well. He didn't win, but he did well. And May lost a lot of her seat. Lost the majority, rather. So you can rebel. You can rebel against the system. It concerns me that it's a socialist that is the people that the person that the people who are rebelling are voting for. I wish it was a centre-right anti-establishment candidate. I wish it was someone like Gary Johnson or Bill Weld, or one of those libertarians. Someone that is anti-big government, because big government doesn't do anyone any favours. Anyway, let's get off of this, because I said at the end it was the end of politics talk, and I've just led us right back into it. E3.
The
What else
football,
happened? What else happened at E3?
um, that's as far as I know about E3. I know
Is that everything?
that's pretty much everything I know. Um, the next big one coming up is
Gamescom.
Gamescom's coming up next.
Yeah.
Activision announced betas for World War Two.
Wow.
So you've got the
They did that last
first.
year.
They did. So the first weekend is exclusively for PS4, and I believe
Okay.
that's the final weekend of August. And then the first weekend of September, you've got another weekend for both Xbox and PlayStation, which is good.
That's interesting.
Destiny 2 got moved forward.
Forward.
Like the release date got moved forward, which is
Ooh.
good.
Wow.
Instead of coming out on September 9th, it's now coming out September 6th.
Oh, okay. I thought they were moving. I thought
No.
you said they were moving it forward like a couple of months, and everyone
Oh.
was losing their shit. You know. Oh,
A lot of
3 days.
A lot of people did lose their shit over it though, because it was meant to be coming to PlayStation first as an exclusive, but because they've moved it forward, now everyone gets it the same day.
Wow.
And a lot of people are like, "Well, that's not fair," and Bungie are like, "Do you think I care?"
Yeah. Yeah. Exclusive is one of those words now, isn't it? It's like the word literally. It's lost all
Yeah.
meaning. You know, it doesn't mean what it originally meant now. Exclusive isn't exclusive. Exclusive is we have something that everyone has. It's like you could probably use in these companies' board meetings. You could use the sentence I exclusively have eyes. You know, like it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I mean, they've in the industry now they're moving towards the term of a time-based exclusive,
Oh,
because
fucking brilliant!
a lot of people are releasing games saying exclusive for Xbox One. Oh, but it'll be out on PS4 next month, so it's not an exclusive.
They'll come down to days and then hours.
Yeah.
This is exclusive next year. There'll be a game. This is exclusive on Xbox One for 24 hours.
Yeah, and a lot of companies this year as well have announced that their games are coming out. Let's say, for example, like a game's coming out on September 5th, but if you pre-order it, you can get it on September 2nd.
Oh, so the release date's actually September 2nd.
Yeah. It's like, well, then why say the 5th? Because you know everyone's going to pre-order it anyway.
Well, you also know that there's going to be people who pre-order a load of copies and then sell them illegally. You know, because people don't give a fuck.
Exactly. You know, you just buy a ton of copies, you either sell them on eBay, sell them on Amazon. People don't care.
Yeah, people don't care. What else was I gonna? I was gonna bring something up and I forgot what it was. Oh yeah. The one thing I like, what a company does, one thing I like, is when a company like Bethesda did this with Fallout 4. Is when a company says, we're bringing out a new game, and it's going to be out next month. Like I respect that in a company. You know, just saying, we've got a new game. We're releasing it in 30 days. Not next year, not the year after. We're releasing it next month. Like I really like that out of a company. And that's why I like Bethesda usually. I've heard they've been doing some dodgy shit lately, you know. But I really like that in a company.
I mean, this is good because it's something you don't expect.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, I remember for E3 last year, when Crash Bandicoot got announced to like be remastered on PS4, no one was expecting that, and I was watching that live, and it completely, like, I was gobsmacked. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. And that's the sort of reaction people want more, because I think people are now getting tired of, oh yeah, but this game comes out in 2018. It's like, Yeah, but when in 2018?
This game comes out in 2025. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? You know, I could be dead by then. You know?
exactly. I think what they need to start doing is when they announce games, it's not games that are coming out in a year or 2 years. It needs to be games that are coming out in the current year you're in,
Yeah.
like within a 6 month scale, because
Yeah.
I know 6 months isn't a lot of time, but the game you're going to be releasing in 6 months, you've been developing for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you can't be saying, "Oh, we're going to release a game in 2 years" when you've only been developing it for 6 months. You don't even know what a game's going to look like.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, GTA 5 was what, a 7 year development cycle?
yeah, and they're still developing it now.
Yeah.
Like they just released a load of new DLC, which, by the way, the DLC is free. All the DLC is free, and that's something I love about that game. You know,
That's what they announced for Battlefront 2.
That's good.
All DLC for that game is free, but they're going to be adding microtransactions for people that want them.
Okay, that's not a problem if it doesn't
Yeah,
affect the game.
they're not forced upon you. You don't have to use them, but they're there to help you if you want to use them.
Does it make people better though? Is it like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, where you know you can buy a fucking gun which destroys everyone? Because that was a massive problem in that game.
It was, especially with the likes of, I think it was Advanced Warfare. That was the first one that had the supply drop, so to speak.
Yeah, it was. That was a horrible game. I sold that. I just sold that after like 2 weeks. Just a terrible game.
Okay, so they've said that it's not a pay-to-win system.
Okay, well I'll believe that when I see it, because
Yeah,
we've heard that before.
It's not a pay-to-win system, because if it was a pay-to-win system, you're just going to see people abuse it.
Yeah.
You know, like if they had, if you pay £10, you get to use Darth Vader in 3 missions of your choosing. Like, that'd be stupid.
And you know that Darth Vader is going to be ridiculous in that case.
Yeah.
You know Darth Vader is going to be able to get 80 kills a game, even when it's being used by fucking Jimmy No Thumbs. You know,
Exactly.
you know it's going to be silly. But
I mean, I'm more looking forward to using Darth Maul personally.
oh yeah, I love
I think
Darth
it's
Maul.
amazing.
I'm a big fan of Darth Maul. That guy is a bad motherfucker. Like, he's legit.
I see you've got Star Wars 8 out this year.
Yeah, when is that? I don't even know when
It
that is.
releases on the 15th in the UK and then the 16th everywhere else.
Huh.
Yeah, we always
December.
get it a day before.
December is
What-
that?
Yeah, December this year.
Oh, it's a Christmas movie again.
Yep.
Looks
I'll
like
be
I'm
there.
going to be seeing it on Christmas Eve again, like I did last couple of years ago. What? Couple of years ago was it? It was a couple of years ago.
And then they said that episode 9 is out May of 2019.
Oh, make it December. Come on.
Yeah. They want to bring it to us quicker. It's like, well, I'd rather wait till December again
Yeah.
and then have a half decent film.
Yeah. I just make it another Christmas movie. Like, I'm fine with that.
I mean, I enjoyed Rogue One. I'm looking forward to episode 8. I'm not crazy ecstatic about the Han Solo movie that comes out in
No.
2018.
I'm a casual Star Wars fan. Like, I haven't watched Rogue One. You know, like I don't really care about that.
Rogue One's better than the prequels.
Really?
So, yes, it's a lot better than the prequels. The way Rogue One works is you can watch Rogue One, and then you can literally put on episode 4 straight away, and it's like you're watching the same film.
Huh.
Apart from of that resolution, like little bits like that. But
Apart from apart from the
Stuff.
special effects, which are terrible on episode 4.
yeah, but it's literally like the storyline blends in perfectly, which is something they didn't do with the prequels.
Could you would there be a way to I actually wonder if someone's done this. I wonder if someone's combined Rogue One and Episode 4.
I'm pretty sure someone's plonked it on.
Yeah.
I know there is someone out. I can't remember their name, but I know like they disagree with what 4 to 6 look like, because everyone's saying, "Oh, we want them like as a modern film," and they've completely remastered the films from front to back, and like it took them 5 years to do Episode 4. They color graded it. They removed all the crappy special effects. They added their own special effects.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But literally, like with Episode 4 and Rogue One, you would literally need like a 20-second cut to take off, and then you could plonk on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wonder if eventually people are gonna or someone's gonna take all of the take the Rogue One movie, the Han Solo movie, and whatever the interim 5 and 6 movie is, and I wonder if they're gonna make kind of the whole original or even the whole Star Wars series one film, and we're gonna have Episode 1 to 9 with all of the in between movies.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be crazy.
I mean, they've already hinted of announcing a 10 to 12, which wouldn't surprise me. It's
10 to
Disney.
12.
They're gonna milk it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get that cow, and they're gonna milk it till it dies. You know, they're gonna dehydrate that thing. Don't blame them either. Like, you know,
I mean, Star Wars is a massive universe. They've got plenty of content they want to use. But with like the ones that are coming out now with 8 and 9, they need to be quick. Obviously, 8's in post-production, but with Episode 9, they need to be as quick as they possibly can, and ensuring that scenes with Mark Hamill are a priority. They need to be done first.
Yeah, that guy's gonna die soon. He might die on set. You might actually see that in the movie. That guy die in real life. You know,
because he's getting like Carrie Fisher. She's passed away.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. This is a spoiler for anyone that's not seen Episode 7.
yeah.
He passed. He got killed in Episode 7
He got thrown off the bridge.
by his son, good old Ben.
He got thrown off the bridge. Mick Foley style.
He did.
You know,
Did.
through the cage, through the announcer's table. There's an announcer's table. There's literally an announcer's table just below the bridge. If you haven't seen
straight through
Episode
it.
7, went straight through it, and JR was there. Jerry Lawler was there. You know, it was crazy. That didn't really happen, but that would be great if that did happen.
You've got people now on YouTube like, did it really?
Look, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't understand my sarcasm and sense of humour by now, there's not really much hope for you. You know, might be time to get that lethal injection out. You know.
Available only and exclusively. That keyword there, exclusively available in Switzerland.
Only Switzerland. Only
believe it's-
Switzerland.
Believe so. But no, Mark Hamill scenes need to be done first, because I wouldn't be surprised if he goes within the next year and a half.
Yeah.
He's getting on himself.
Who are they going to replace him with? Are they just going to say, "Oh, he died in his sleep"?
Well, I mean, personally, I don't even think he's going to be in Episode 9. I think he's going to die in Episode 8.
Wow. Fair enough.
The reason I say that
That'd be
is
sensible.
because the characters they've introduced now, so you got Rey, you got Finn and Poe,
Yeah.
they literally replace Luke, Leia, and Han.
Yeah.
You've got Leia would be obviously Rey, and then you got Finn and Poe. And I think that Kylo is going to kill Luke in Episode 8.
Yeah, Obi-Wan style.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed if that happens, because, you know, you don't want Kylo Ren to be Darth Vader. Like,
No.
don't repeat the original 3 movies. Like, we know what happens there.
I mean, that's what it looks like they're doing.
Oh.
Because you got Episode 7, which had the exact similar storyline to Episode 4. and then you watch the teaser trailer for episode 8, and what's the one iconic scene they show? They show the AT-ATs coming at speeders on a wasteland.
For God's sake.
And that's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that in episode 5 with the AT-ATs and the snow speeders on Hoth.
Exactly.
Like, they're literally churning out old material because they've run out of ideas.
Well, also you saw it in episode 2 on the
You did.
with the spiders. The spiders basically were on Geonosis, is it? The end battle where Count Dooku fights Yoda. You literally see the spiders, and they're meant to be the AT-ATs. You know.
I just want to say that Yoda battle with Count Dooku is one of the most underrated lightsaber battles.
Yeah.
Yoda is an amazing character.
Yeah.
Which is also meant to be in episode 8.
Amazing character he is. Absolutely. We're going to take a break now, because that's what we do around here, you know. After the break, we're going to get into some other stuff, which I haven't decided on yet. So we'll see you in just a little bit. And we're back. So I've been thinking. I've got this podcast. I've got the Dan James Show, which is what everyone's listening to now. I've been, because this is the high quality show. That's what I like to think of this as. It's not great yet, but eventually I'm gonna add like music in the background. I'm gonna add I'm gonna have video eventually, because it's gonna look good, you know. So eventually I'm going to have that high quality podcast, which is the Dan James Show. But I want to start another one, which is like the opposite, which is literally just, I just press record while I'm having a conversation. And I don't know if you're familiar with a YouTuber called Sargon of Akkad.
Definitely I've heard of them.
You've heard of him. He's a political commentator. He's a bright guy. He's good as well. But he does these live streams, which are just Skype conversations with other YouTubers. And that's kind of what I want to emulate, you know, with kind of a new podcast. Instead of having the Dan James Show, or just the Dan James Show, because I'm going to keep this going, which is weekly, and is high quality. I kind of want something else which is just very casual and isn't weekly. It just comes out whenever I feel like it. By the way, to the viewers, sorry there was no show on Saturday. There was scheduling errors. This podcast was meant to be recorded last Saturday, was it?
I believe so, yeah.
And then released on the same day. But I was exhausted after Friday's general election. I got to bed at 4:30 in the morning, you know. So I just didn't bother.
I believe everyone was dead.
Everyone was dead. Yeah. So instead, we're doing it for today, and tomorrow I'm going to be recording a podcast with. Well, you'll see. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. But yeah, I'm probably going to be doing another podcast. I'll be doing 2 podcasts. Only one's going to be very casual. Do you do any videos or anything like that on YouTube?
No, but I've wanted to.
You should do it. You're a film guy as well, so you'll be able to do it.
I do video editing. The problem with YouTube is it's very, 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 very oversaturated.
Yeah.
And to even get like 10 views, you're going to need to make sure you have plenty of friends that are going to click on your video and actually share it. I mean, you could always clickbait. That always works. I mean, if you're good with your tags, you know, you put in stuff like PewDiePie in your tags, that's going to bump up straight away.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get people complaining saying, oh, this has nothing to do with PewDiePie, and you get all that the haters, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's definitely something I wanted to do, but I don't want to make all like these tag videos that people are doing, like we sit in front of the camera and goes, tell us an embarrassing story. Oh, I shat myself once. That was really fun.
yeah.
Like,
Because yeah.
yeah, it's not helping me.
Shout, shout out to Elliot, previous guest on the show. He does a lot of them videos, but you know,
but the way Elliot does them, it's funny.
yeah.
There's a lot of people in my year, and like I'm just gonna like call people out here.
Oh
I'm
shit!
just
Exclusive,
no,
exclusive Dan James show.
I'm calling people out here. Okay, I've got
Shit.
everyone left, right, and center in my year. Oh, I'm editing this. I do this on YouTube, but you're not a fucking editor.
Yeah, I see that a lot in the producing world.
And it's so annoying because you've got people like me that I want to be an editor, and yes, I know on my part I could be learning more, and I am. I've taken that step now. It's the summer. I'm going to learn more, but I've got people that are doing like different courses, and they're coming out of YouTube videos, and it's like, oh, I edit this. I'm really good, and it's like,
No, you're not.
why?
You're shit.
And it's like, do you understand the process of editing? You know, it's not, oh, I put these clips together and they're really funny. And there's people me, I will watch their videos and I'll just sit there thinking, shit, that's not cut properly.
Yeah.
Like I think for the year that's just gone for university, I made one video that I submitted for an assignment, and that was no, sorry, I've done two. They were both submitted, well, they were both edited, sorry, overnight, the night before they were due, and I got high grades on both of them. And like I'm happy, but I know for a fact that if I actually sat down and I put something together properly, it would be good. But what doesn't help is because I know a few keyboard shortcuts on Premiere Pro, people have sort of assumed that I'm the best editor in the whole year group, and it's sort of like,
No, you just know the program.
I know the program because I've sat down with it and I've learnt it.
Yeah.
And on my part, I've gone out there and I've learnt. And there's people in my year that they're more focused on making YouTube content than they are about focusing on university and their degree.
Yeah.
Now, I know most people over the summer, they're going to want to sit down, they're going to want to relax.
You can't do that in this industry. You can't.
You can't. I've already...
You gotta be
for my-
learning. You gotta be learning all the time.
You've got to continuously be growing as a person. For my final year, I've got 3 units, and then I've got a special project. Now, the special project has to be a 20-minute film, any style, like it could be a comedy, a drama, it could be a documentary. I've already got my group sorted, and we've already got the subject sorted.
Yeah, that.
So we've now got 3 months to do research before we even start the year. At which point we're still going to have another 3 months to research. So we've got 6 months in total to research before any footage needs to be shot.
That
So we've already got an advantage.
That sounds similar to me. I've got a special project because I'm in my 3rd year next year as well. I've got a special project as well. I've already got a plan of what I'm gonna do. Because I'm doing music tech, so it's music production, sound engineering, that kind of thing. I know so many people who aren't learning still, who aren't picking up books and watching videos. I do know a couple of people that are, and those people are going places. They're talented people. They're really hard working. You know, one of them's Doyle Flavor. Shout out to Flavor. He works so hard. He's a singer. He's a singer and producer. He works ridiculously hard. And you can just tell he's going places because of how hard he works. But over this summer, I've been reading. I get this music tech magazine, right, which is a magazine which is basically just producers writing. I've got about 30 that I haven't read. I'm gonna go through all of them. I've got a couple of books which I haven't read, like a couple of textbooks. I'm going to go through them, and I'm just going to keep learning, because if I don't, I'm going to come out of university and I'm not going to be as good as my competitors. You want to be better than your competitors. So, I need to go and get my charger because I'm unorganised, and in the break I didn't do that. So, if you want to just keep the people entertained while I go and get the charger for 20 seconds, that would be nice.
Yeah, no problem. So, like, the problem with the media industry is it's oversaturated. Just like we mentioned before with YouTube, it's completely oversaturated. And people are now coming into it, they're seeing the growth of it, and they're going, oh, they can do it, I can do it too. And it's getting into that cycle now of a loop where you've got people shifting. And it's the same with technology, it's getting better and better. And more people are seeing a market with it, so they want to grow onto it. And it's getting to that point now where when you apply for a job, you'd normally get 10 to 100 people for it. You're now starting to push into the higher hundreds because people think that they can do it as well. He's
I've
back.
got my headphones on now, so I can't hear.
So yeah, if you want to go
guest.
to this really cool website, it's called, and this isn't promotion. It's a little bit of promotion. If you go to boobjizz.com, you'll find a very nice surprise on that website. The first time I went on it, I was very surprised, and I was on that website for a good hour and a half.
Wow.
It's actually, like, it's not what you think it is, but it's a very interesting thing.
What's this website?
Boobjizz.com.
Actually, can you link it to me?
I will link it to you right now.
How do you... On Skype, how do you... Oh.
Yeah, Skype's a bit weird with...
So were you just saying some massively racist shit while I was gone? It's going to get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, I was saying...
the Jews...
Trump,
you know, Hitler was right. You know, like...
Hitler was a good leader.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. But what he did to the Jews was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yep.
Okay.
So that website will surprise you for what it is, and it surprised me as well.
This site can't be reached.
Has it been removed? Oh my god, it's been removed. Boobjizz is gone. They've gotten rid of Boobjizz.
So what is Boobjizz?
So Boobjizz was a URL. I think I know why. Let me. Okay. That is why. Here we go. I fixed the problem. Turns out there is no safety protocol for it.
Oh.
Because
it's called Boobjizz.
Yeah.
Why would there be a safety protocol for Boobjizz?
Yep, there you go. That one will work. No, it won't, because I haven't structured it correctly.
Yeah.
Listen, folks, pay attention in school and actually listen to your teachers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Like, it worked that time, as you can see. But you tell someone that URL, they're gonna be like, "Why would they go on that? That's clearly pornography."
Oh, it redirects to Firefox.
Yeah. She bought that URL and she redirected it to her streaming account.
That's very clever. That's very clever indeed.
I actually really appreciate. I like the humor of it.
Isn't she one of the streamers that wears a really low cut top? You know.
No, Sonia's actually one of the only decent female streamers out there that isn't all about sex. She's more of actually interacting with people, which I appreciate. She's, as far as I'm concerned, she's never actually worn any revealing clothing on stream.
So she's not like Zoe Berger.
No. Like, oh hi guys, let me just grab my camera as I like push my tits up into the camera for you.
Yeah, you can't even see their face. You know,
Yeah.
their face is gone. Their face is off. It's way above the camera. All you
Um,
can see, is those two milk sacks just sitting there. Like,
do you think they just like got up the whole stream, like they set it all up on the computer, thinking, "Nah, my webcam's taking up too much space. I'm gonna crop out my face."
yeah. No,
I mean, to be fair, that they've got a market and it's working for them.
yeah, yeah,
But they're pushing it a little bit too far.
yeah. They're being, because I mean, like, it's a market and it isn't bad. Like, I'm not gonna go and say that it shouldn't be allowed. It should be allowed, but I am gonna criticise them on the grounds that they're taking the lowest hanging fruit that they get. Like, they've gone, the fruit is so low that it's buried in the ground. It's like a potato. They've gone in. They've uprooted the fruit from the ground. That's how low hanging it is. Like, using a man's dick brain to get him to do something is very, very low. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with it, really, but it's just very cheap. You know.
Makes them a lot of money though. You can't say no to money.
No, but
But the thing is, if it was the other way around, if you got a guy like in a really tight like G-string, you'd get people like, "Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, you shouldn't be allowed to do that." And this is the whole
you wouldn't
thing
put a
when you
guy.
get onto like the gender debate of
You
women
You,
be
yeah,
allowed, but men.
but you wouldn't put a guy in a G-string.
Exactly.
You'd put a guy in a pair of jeans without a top on. You get him to go to the gym every day for 2 years first. You get him on all kinds of TRT and shit, and then he'd be massive. And that's what you put in front of the camera, without a top on, because that's
Yeah.
what women look for. They don't look for a guy in a G-string. They find that disgusting.
And then that sort of like helps to conform like social expectations of what women want and what guys want, and you shouldn't do that because you're just gonna warp people's minds. Because if you're gonna get a girl with like a really tight ass and a massive pair of tits, it's like you're gonna get every guy expecting that.
No.
You're gonna get there's gonna be like
There's gonna be a percentage.
Yeah, there's gonna be not like everyone, but there's gonna be a slim percentage of people who are gonna be like, well, if she's like that, then I want her to be like that too.
Yeah, but they're idiots.
Yeah, they're backward thinkers.
You shouldn't cater to the idiots, because the idiots are always going to be idiots. They're just going to always be stupid. You can't do anything for them people. The people that put forks into the electrical socket. The electrical socket shouldn't be safe, because the kids that put forks in there probably weren't really meant to go forward and make children. Just saying. Like, let's not make sure the really dumb ones continue going on, because they aren't helping anyone. They get other people killed, and they're the same ones that think that Playboy is a good example of what a woman should look like. No, it's not a good example of what a woman should look like. That's fantasy. When I think pornography is a good tool for allowing men to use their sexual imagination and relieve that part of their brain. But, like, I wouldn't date a porn star, because it isn't really what I look for. Like, I look for someone who does have flaws,
Yeah.
I don't want a perfect person. It just wouldn't feel right. I want a human being, not a plastic doll with a consciousness.
So talking of like pornography and like in relation to what you're doing at university, if you got offered to like do the sound and mix the sound for a pornography film, would you do it?
Oh yeah, give
You
me
would.
that money. Honestly, it could be a fucking scat film and I'll do the mixing for it. Like, there isn't.
See, now for me, I feel like from my point of view, I wouldn't want to do it because
Really?
I've got to sit there for like 8 hours watching porn.
What's bad about that?
8 hours, man, that's a long time. You're gonna get bored after like the first two.
Well,
Like you're getting to the point where porn is boring.
Yeah, but I
That's something
mean,
no man should ever have to experience.
yeah, but I've got someone to do that job for me. So, well, I only see him every 2 weeks. But you know, like maybe it's different for me because I don't need it. But
I just don't think I could sit there watching a guy slam his meat into a girl for 8 hours straight.
really,
Yeah, if it's the same like the repetition, I just couldn't. Like seeing the same video over and over again. I'm like, no, I get bored after the same video after like 3 times. I need fresh content
yeah,
because then you've learnt the video off by heart, so you know what's going to happen. It's like I want some sort of surprise. Surprise me, you know. Whip out a leash, you know, something different.
wow. Yeah, I'd happily do it just because you know there's not much I wouldn't do for money. You know, I think that's just my attitude as opposed to anything else.
I mean, if I was getting paid well for it, like if you're talking like you're gonna pay me 5,000, like in theory for a job, then by all means, I'll force my way through it, so to speak. I mean, at the end of the day, a job's a job. I'm not gonna turn it down, but I've heard from people that being an editor for that sort of content can be pretty gruesome.
Yeah, I imagine it can be.
But you know, I won't know till I try. So
Yeah,
you know, something you'd have to give a go. I'll have to give a go
you
one
have
day.
to give it a go.
You know.
Would you ever consider actually being the actor in that situation?
It's free sex. Why not?
But I mean, you're putting a lot on show there.
It's true. I mean, you know, we're all human, so to speak. At the end of the day, I think that people, the one thing that mainly guys, I'm not saying it's every guy. There is a percentage of guys that they do worry about their manhood.
Yeah, that's not something I worry about. It's not something I really need to worry about.
Exactly. It's not something that no one should worry about because there's always going to be someone that is the same size as you. There's going to be guys that are smaller than you, and there's going to be guys bigger than you.
Apart from the foot long dude.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That guy's the biggest. But
Um,
it's inconvenient for that guy. Like,
Yeah.
he passes out.
that's monumental. What he's got.
You've made money off it though. Like,
He's made up a lot of money off of it. But like something like a foot long, it's not something I'd want to walk around with.
no one wants that. No one wants that.
And like it's down to the point where you watch porn and you see a guy who's got like a 10-inch erected penis, and it's like, oh, that's what people sort of want, and it's like
No girl wants that.
exactly.
No guy wants that either.
You need to be comfortable with your own body before you worry about what others got, because if you love yourself, then that's all that matters.
That's
pun
not.
intended.
I mean, that's not why I worry about. That's not why I don't worry about my manhood. I just don't need to. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it just because having a video out there, which is quite revealing, even though I'm very happy with myself and how I look. Having a video out there for friends and family to see of me destroying another woman, it just wouldn't really sit right with me. You know?
Would you do it if your face was blurred?
Oh yeah. If no one
So
knew
they
who
said
I
that-
was,
they
I'd
said-
do it.
Yeah, they said like we'll blur your like from your neck up. It'll be completely blurred for the entire video. No one will ever know it's you. We won't include you in the credits or anything like that, but you'll get paid for it.
Let me be the cameraman though. Just me and the woman in the room. Because I think the cameraman will put me off. I'd just look over and he'd have his thumbs up. I'd just be like, no, you put me off now.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And I think they make the best, because some guys will get put off, or some girls will get put off with other people in the room. And this is like the interesting thing, where like sex mainly was meant to be between two people. And now obviously you've got like,
They started adding people.
yeah, they got bored. It's like, oh, you know what, we'll add a third person and see what happens there. And then you've like got jealousy started to come into it. It's like, well, she's getting more action than I am. That's not fair. And and that happens with relationships. I know people. Like, I had one of my friends. He was in a relationship with a girl. They decided to have a threesome one day with another girl, and his girlfriend ended up leaving him for the girl because she got more pleasure out of her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something, isn't it? When you don't just get left for another person, it's another person of the opposite sex. You know, like, that's a real slap to the face, you know?
It's like, you're a good guy and all, but I'm off guys now. I prefer women. It's like, oh, am I that bad?
That's awful. I can't imagine that. Like,
It would hurt.
when the dick is so bad, you make her a lesbian. Like, oh, you can't tell your friends about that. You just gotta say, oh, she was cheating with another guy. You can't tell your friend that you turned your girl into a lesbian, or bi, or whatever she is. You just can't say that. You can't admit to that. You have to keep that secret for your entire life. You know?
Like, take it to the grave with you. Leave it in your will and your final will and testament. If you
Not
really
even
want to
that. Your family would be ashamed of you for that. You know, you take that to the grave and it stays there. No one ever knows about that. You gotta kill the woman as well to make sure she doesn't tell anyone. It's a horrible situation. You just gotta hope that doesn't happen to you. It's like getting falsely accused of rape. You gotta kill the girl. You gotta keep all of that secret. You know, you can't be messing about with that. That's something that scares me. That those false accusations of rape. That's something that worries me.
Yeah, they're edgy, because anyone can accuse you at any time, and it's like, especially with our country, it's you're guilty.
Yeah, even if the courts say no, you're not guilty, you're always seen as a rapist.
Yeah,
and you know, every time a company searches your name, even if they see, oh, you got let go, you got let off, you know, they're gonna think, oh, but what if they were wrong, you know. So as soon as a girl says to you, and doesn't even bring it to the police, oh, I'm gonna say this, you just grab the knife. You're just like, right, you're going in the river. You're going.
Well, segue, if Dan does go missing, and like there's a wanted list for him, don't be surprised. You've heard it here on the podcast first.
That's a good thing about guys. Guys don't do that. That's not a thing in the gay community.
I mean, I know plenty of people, and I actually know someone that has actually been raped by another guy, and like I'm not gonna obviously say who it was, but he kept it quiet.
Out.
He kept it quiet because it's not something he wants out there, and he doesn't want to cause any trouble.
For men, it's much worse.
Yeah.
But like when a woman gets raped, it's like there's such a stigma against it.
Yeah,
that she has so much support, and the court system is so much in her favour, which the court system shouldn't be in favour of anyone. It should be innocent till proven guilty. It should be neutral. But the court system is always so much in her favour that justice is always done somehow, even if it's false justice, which is it's terrible. No justice is better than false justice. But when a guy gets raped, there's a stigma against him somehow, which is ridiculous.
Oh, why wasn't you strong enough? Why didn't you, be the man that you are?
I mean, I'll say this right now: a guy tries to rape me, he's getting his balls ripped off, he's getting put in the lake, but not everyone's as physically strong as even I am, right? Like I'm not, I'm not really strong or anything, but I could fight someone off, I could choke someone out, but not. There's some skinny, small guys about, that can't do that. So, they could be taken advantage of in that way. And if they're drugged, again, drugged is the most common way that people get sexually assaulted. You can't do anything then because it shuts down your body. This is a terrible situation, but
hopefully it's one that none of us will ever be in,
no, hopefully not.
or anyone that we know for that matter.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not fun to deal with.
no, it's not fun to
I
deal
actually
with.
had a friend that goes to our uni, and she went out in Luton one night, and she saw a guy put something in a drink. So she didn't do anything. She just left and went home.
Fuck.
And it's the point where people go out, they'll have a drink or two, and then they'll let their guard down.
Yes, alcohol. I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol because
I don't drink either.
fucking credit to you. You're the only person I think I've ever met. No, actually, that's a lie. There's a couple of guys I've met that don't drink, but I don't drink, mainly because my granddad was an alcoholic, and I know for a fact that I have whatever genetics that predispose me to addiction. I know for a fact I have them, because, and this sounds silly, but when it comes to stuff like chocolate, right, when it comes to sugar especially, I can't just put sugar down. If I can't just put sugar down, which isn't anywhere near as addictive as alcohol, there's no way I'm going to be able to put alcohol down. So I just never started,
I mean, I have, obviously I've had alcohol before, and I'll have it on a rare occasion. I went out for my dad's birthday 2 weeks ago, and I got absolutely white girl wasted.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the first time I've had alcohol properly for, I'd say, 3 years. But it's because I don't see the appeal in drinking.
No,
because the experiences I've had with alcohol is I've been cheated on. I've seen my friends been cheated on, and alcohol is used as an excuse.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you can't control yourself, then just don't.
It's not
drink.
an excuse. It's not.
It's not
Well,
an excuse.
it is. It's an excuse. It's not a reason.
Yeah.
It's a poor excuse, and not an actual reason.
And I think the main thing, like you said, with you got your granddad, and my nan, she used to drink a lot. She would go through 3 bottles of wine every other day. And she had an accident, and then from there, she's been a year and a half, almost 2 years sober. But we've come up to, and as bad as it sounds, I'm glad she had that the accident, because otherwise she would still be drinking.
Yeah.
And as bad as it is for me to say that, I am glad it happened, because it will mean she has a longer lifespan.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's I've tried alcohol. I've tried a little bit of whatever my parents were drinking when I was young. And I remember even then, I never liked beer. I never liked the softer drinks. I always liked the spirits.
Yeah.
How does a young kid like spirits? So I just can't see how it can't be genetic. It must be genetic for me to like those higher alcoholic content drinks. And I got the same the last time I tried alcohol. I must have been in Turkey. I was 13. I got the same rush off a spirit that I did from sugar, and from there I was like, I'm never touching this stuff again. Even the dumb 13-year-old me, which was very dumb, very stupid child. I realised back then, this just isn't worth it. This is gonna ruin my life, So I just haven't touched it since, because I know it will end in me just ruining my life.
But your downfall.
Yeah, exactly. I just stick to sugar. I mean, I've just cut out Coke because, this is a different weird topic. I find Coke affects my mood. You
Yeah.
know, so I've cut that out now. I'm only eating chocolate. I've got some pick and mix up there, up on my bookshelf, and I'm gonna finish that later. I mean, that's the only the bad vice I have is sugar, and I mean, as long as I kind of control it, it'll be fine. You know.
I mean, I was one of them kids that grew up, like, I would be drinking the 17p bottles of lemonade and Coke from, like, Asda.
Yeah.
Or, like, I knew that was, obviously, it was doing my body no good because that's just filled to the brim with, like, shit and sugar.
Shit, yeah, it's just terrible.
And, like, for the last, I'd say, 2.5 years, my primary thing that I will drink now will just be water.
Yeah,
I felt so much better for it.
yeah.
So much better for it. I mean, I will occasionally, I'll buy myself like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Like when I
don't touch that shit. I don't touch Monster either. Monster is death in a can. You wanna see liquid cancer? Pour a bottle of Monster into a can of Monster into a glass. That's what cancer looks like in a glass.
I mean, I've got a friend and she solely drinks Monster. That is the only thing she drinks.
She's fucking crushing her body.
Yeah, and I said to her, I said, like, you do realise that that is doing your body no good. Because the second you come off of that drink for 2 to 3 days, your body is going to crash.
Yeah.
Because your body is now adapted to you drinking Monster and expecting that drink. And you're going to have withdrawal effects, you're going to have nausea, the lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if she keeps drinking it, she's going to kill herself.
Yeah, I mean, it elevates your heart rate. Like, anything that elevates your heart rate that's not exercise, you shouldn't be touching.
That's true, man. It's true.
What else was? I was going to bring something up. Yeah, that's the reason I don't do cannabis. Because even though cannabis isn't really addictive physically, I know I could become addicted to the effects of cannabis. So I just don't touch that either. And I hung around with the smokers in school. Well, the smokers, not really the smokers. It was kind of a weird cross group of misfits that were skaters. There's a couple of weird kids in there, you know, a couple of druggies, couple of smokers, you know. And I got pushed to smoke, but I never did, because I knew. Because I mean, smoking's killed at least one of my family, right? The same one that was an alcoholic. My granddad, he died when I was 5, a long time ago. But it was really smoking that did it for him, because he got lung cancer, which is caused by smoking tobacco. So I've always known not to touch that. But you know, this addictive personality, it's a very minorly addictive personality that I've got, has been the reason I don't touch these things. Because you know, it's all very well having a good night one night, but I know it's not just going to be that night. It's going to be the next night. It's going to be the night after, and eventually it's going to be every day. And you know, that's when my life's just over, you know. So I just don't touch any of that stuff, because for me it's too dangerous. So I don't get why anyone would drink alcohol regularly, because you just wake up feeling terrible.
I mean, I think the reason that most people drink is because they want an escape from their daily lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why, like, people like me, most of the time I spend is I'm either watching YouTube or I'm on my computer, and that's purely because that's my escape from reality.
Yeah.
And it's doing me harm in a way, but at the same time it's not.
Well, I mean, gaming doesn't do you harm, really. Like, it'll fuck with your eyes, but, you know, your eyes are going to go anyway. You know, by the time you're 60, I guarantee 90% of the listeners of this show, you know, they're going to have glasses. Because your eyes just go. They're the first thing to fail.
Fuck, I'm 21, I've already got glasses.
Well, there you go. I've got good eyesight. I know my eyesight's going. You know, I know that thing's going. Like, my computer screen is about 4 foot away from me. I used to be able to read everything on it very clearly from 4 foot away. I can't read some of this really small text now. So, you know, my eyesight's going. And yeah, it's probably gaming that did it. But it's a better escape than alcohol. Because alcohol's going to kill me in probably 40 years. Gaming isn't going to kill me. It might make my eyesight really bad, but it's not going to kill me. It's going to develop my brain as well. I'm probably more intelligent because of gaming, you know?
I mean, gaming is one of them things where instead of the possibility of like damaging your body, conflict, gaming's better because you develop your brain, like you said, and it also allows for connections to happen, friendship, and all that malarkey, stuff like that. You know, it's a more positive outlook than drinking is. I mean, I know, with drinking you can make memories like, oh, yeah, for example, my friend Keith jumped off of a 5-foot building. He broke his leg. It's like, well,
That's a good memory though.
That's great for him and everything, but you know, I've made friends online and I talk to them, and that I prefer to do that because I know at the end of the day I'm safe and you know I'm living a good life.
Yeah, I mean with alcohol as well, the memories that people say that are good on alcohol are like you just said, similar to like, oh, remember that time that Tommy fell through a fucking table and broke his leg. It's like, that isn't really a good memory though, is it? It's a good story to tell, but it's not a good memory.
I mean, I think with me more, if I ever do hang around with friends and they're drinking, the reason I enjoy my time so much is the company of my friends, not the alcohol.
Yeah.
Because I know I've got a group of people here that want to have my company.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the people. It's the people and not the activity.
And then you will get the select few that they're there for the activity and not the people. And they're the ones that will tend to be the ones that get their legs broken, or you know, they wake up in some stranger's bedroom and they're like, what the fuck happened?
And I mean, that stranger's always a 1 out of 10. You know, she always looks like fucking Peggy Mitchell. You know, she doesn't look good. You know, you don't ever wake up in the bedroom in a stranger's, free girl. You know, you don't exactly. You don't end up in Zoe Berger's bedroom. You know, you never end up in that situation. You always end up with the bitch that looks like a bulldog. You know,
on the local chippy.
Yeah, the one that works at the local chippy. The landlord of the pub. Like her hands are like sandpaper. You know, you got rashes on your dick now. And that's not the STDs. The STDs are deeper inside. It's the sandpaper hands that cause that. You know, you got all sorts now. You know, you've got chlamydia, you got gonorrhea. You know, you got blisters that are usually only found in Africa, but somehow you got them. You know, you got them from this fat one. It never ends well. It just never ever ends well. You end up with a son from this fat woman. If you can call her a woman,
the
she might have
she
a
tells
dick.
you she's pregnant, you better move country because the CSA are coming after your ass.
Yep, child support.
Life's over.
Like you better move to Samoa. You better move to. You better it'd be better to go to North Korea and become, you know, Kim Jong Un's
local bitch.
Yeah. Because you don't want to be dealing with that son. That son that looks like a bulldog. You know, that has type 2 diabetes from the moment it's born. You know, you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. It's all alcohol as well. It's alcohol that caused it. So
remember, alcohol's good fun.
Apart from when you end up with Peggy Mitchell, like you know,
that's the last thing anyone wants.
One of the last things, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you get these people now. I mean, I've had so many people from like my middle school and whatnot all put on Facebook, oh, I'm pregnant. This is the only thing I've wanted. And I'm just sitting there thinking,
you didn't want that shit. You were just careless.
Yeah. Like even one of my friends, she recently announced on Facebook that she's pregnant. She's 20 years old, and she even said to me, "It was a mistake, but I'm gonna keep it."
Yeah, I understand why you'd keep it, because me personally, like, for real, like, if I was in a relationship with a woman and I got her pregnant, I don't think I'd want to have an abortion because it just wouldn't sit right with me killing a child. Like, I think abortion should definitely be legal. Like, people should be able to get them if they need them. But for me personally, I just don't. It just doesn't sit right with me. Like, if someone else wants to do it, that's their life. You know, I don't know what situation they're in, so they should be able to do that. But for me personally, I wouldn't want that to happen. You know, so.
I mean, a lot of girls will get pregnant purely because they're abusing the housing system.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Because you're getting every girl that's coming out of school, they're thinking, I don't want to be at home anymore because I hate my parents, they're cunts. So I'm going to go get pregnant and they can move out. And then you've got that, they don't have to pay anything, it's all on the council, they'll pay for it. And then you've got someone like me and yourself, we'll go out, we'll get a job, we'll be earning, let's say in theory, we earn about 12 to 1500 a month once we've got a good settled job. And we'll have to pay like 800-900 in rent.
Yeah, and I mean, you know,
But Becky around the corner opens her legs and she gets it.
Yeah, and the fucking tax is just like, all of a sudden we have to pay 50% or 40% over, what is it, 45,000 a year, just because we need to keep these fucking degenerates around. Like, no, just take the rug from underneath them. You know, just look. So, I hate to sound harsh, but I've said this previously. Sometimes starving makes people go out and get a job, and that's the only thing they'll do it. You know, some people need to be put in that situation, because that's the only time that they get up and fucking work.
Yeah, they need to get rid of that system, because the second they remove it and they say, okay, if you have a kid and you haven't got a home, that's not our problem.
No.
It'll stop young girls being careless.
Yeah, and it'll stop them having so many children as well.
Yeah, because the world's overpopulated as it is.
Yeah.
Talking of overpopulation, I didn't get a chance to sit down and read the article. I'm going to do that a bit later here. Apparently, starting later on this year, they're going to start experiments on bringing people back from the dead. Which is not what we need, and it's how zombie apocalypse start.
Never going to work.
No.
No, they're not going to do it.
It would be an amazing breakthrough if it did work.
Where did you see the article?
It was on Facebook.
Oh, if it's on Facebook, it's a lie. Like, when I read something on Facebook, I'm just like, it's bullshit. You know, it's like reading something in the Sun. You know it's a lie. You know.
I do believe I did save it. So if I did save it, I'll have a look here and I will send it to you. I don't think I did save it. Let's have a look.
Look, I'm all in favour of keeping people alive that are already alive. You know, like if you've got some really intelligent guy, you know, like Stephen Hawking, or someone like that, or a guy that I love, a guy called Jordan Peterson. You know, if you want to keep them alive with some technology, if you want to keep them alive till they're 200 and keep, you know, Jordan Peterson getting angry about communism, you know, go ahead. Let's keep that guy alive. Let's keep that important guy alive, because we kind of need him for the next, you know, 100 years or so. And he's already knocking on the door of 70. Like, you know, let's keep him alive a bit longer. Let's keep him about. But once someone's dead, just leave them dead. You know, you don't be messing about with that.
Yeah, it's the last
doesn't
thing
end
you
well.
want to mess around with.
It just doesn't end well.
So it's on the Daily Mail as well.
Oh, so it's probably a lie then.
Yeah. A US firm called BioQuark plans to test stem sell theories on brain dead patients.
Oh, brain dead.
Yeah.
So they could be in a coma.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, that's a bit different from dead, though, isn't it? Like someone.
I sent you the.
You sent me the link. Like, there's one thing. Could we reverse death? No. Because as soon as someone dies, they start degenerating. If you don't have all the parts there, you can't make it work. So, irreversible. Okay. The inaugural stage of the trial will likely follow the plans laid out last year for the trial in India. What? So you're going to try it in India first, where no one's going to complain?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. The idea of consent in this context is complicated, since the patients are all technically dead. Yeah, well done.
Some of the stuff that people write.
Yeah. Confirming death will be straightforward. Hard to stop beating a person with unresponsive. Oh, used to be straightforward. Okay.
Like, if someone's dead, leave them be, because some people may not want to come back, if that makes sense. I mean, it's always going to be an interesting topic, is what happens to us when we die. Obviously we know the body degenerates, but where does our consciousness go? I actually did watch a very interesting video. Again, it was on Facebook. It was an interview, and a guy was saying that when we die, he believes we go into a state of inexistence, because obviously when we're being carried as kids, we're alive.
Yeah.
But we don't know we're alive. And that's a state there what we've got of inexistence. We're a living human being, but we're not completely aware of being alive.
No.
And obviously we eventually gain that, and then they believe that it goes full circle, and that when we die, we go back into that state of inexistence where we don't know we're dead.
Huh.
Which is interesting. We'll never fully have the answer. To me, I just like to think of it as I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be an atheist. I used to think there was nothing. I'm an agnostic now, because I think it's silly to even, with something as complex as that, we can't even keep people alive past the usual 90 to 100 year 80 to 100 year lifespan. I think considering what happens when we die is a bit silly. I don't know what happens when we die, because I haven't died yet. So there's a lot of people who have said that they died and then came back to life, or they did die and they came back to life, and they said they went to heaven and was sent back. Some people said there was nothing, but I would argue for that. Maybe they don't remember what happened, if there is something.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So when it comes to that subject, I have no thoughts on it. I don't think about it, because I'm okay with either option, to be honest. Like, if when I die that's the last thing that happens, then whatever. As long as I'm ready for that, as long as I'm ready. If I'm 100, I'll be fine with that. You know, if I'll be 100, I'll be like, fine, whatever. Let's get this out of the way. But if there is a next step, then okay, I don't mind what happens.
If you was offered immortality, would you take it?
No.
Or, I mean,
No way.
A part of me would like to see what happens in the future, but then the part of me is like, no, that's stupid. Is you're gonna see all your family die?
Well, also you're also going to see the universe end.
Yeah.
So what happens then? Do you fall into the sun and experience that terrible pain for the rest of your existence?
Exactly.
You know, or you know, when the universe ends, are you just floating through space for the rest of time? That's horrible. Like, give me another 500 years, you know, because I'm sure I'll get up over the death of several generations of family, but not forever. I don't want to live forever. That doesn't sound good.
Forever is a very long time.
Yeah. As Outcast once said, forever, ever, 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 forever, ever. Forever doesn't seem that much time until you're grown. Is that? Yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, I'd like to, because at my current state of age, of being 21 years old, I don't want to die.
Well, no.
I'm pretty sure by the time I get to 60, I'm like, alright, fuck it, I've had enough, get me off.
Well, the when really old people are interviewed, the interviews that you don't see are the ones where they say that they're fine with dying now, because they've seen so many of the people they know die. They're just like, whatever. They see so many people die, and the Johnny Cash song hurts about it. Well, it's not a Johnny Cash song. It's 9 Inch Nails originally, but Johnny Cash's spin on that is he's seen so many people go that he's okay with death now. That's part of the message. You know, as long as I'm that kind of 100, 110. Yeah. Look, we might be 150 when we die, because the kind of technologies that are coming out now. There's a guy called what's his name? Oh, I've forgotten his name. No, it's gone. He's a futurist, whatever his name is, and he thinks he's gonna live until he can choose to die. So he's gonna live forever, technically, until he chooses that he wants to die. And in the best case scenario, that could be a thing. We might not die until we want to die. I don't think that's a thing. I think I'll die when I'm, at worst case scenario, naturally when I'm 90, 100, 110 maybe. But I'm probably going to be 150, 200. We're probably all going to be that age, because of the kind of technology that's coming out. So, you know, recently death was something I used to worry about as a child. But now, as an adult, I've gone over it. Not only that, but I've realised that I might not have to worry about it. I might be able to choose when that happens. So, I just don't think about it anymore. You know.
I mean, if you could die in, like, a way of your choosing, like, would you have a preference?
Kind of peacefully, with my family around me, I suppose.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go in my sleep, because you don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is with that, I'm not ready for that. Like, I know it's not your choice, but I kind of want a little bit of control over it. I want to be able to say, right, I'm going to die now. I want to be able to say goodbye first. Because I don't want to just go to sleep and then, oh, that's it. You know, the title screen comes up, directed by, you know, starring whoever, your stats come up. It's like, I wasn't ready for that, you know. And then you have to do the whole thing again. You live another 150 years and you miss it again, you know. You die in your sleep again. You know, I want to be able to say, I want to be able to say goodbye and be ready for it. That's just the way I view it, and that's why the only thing I'm scared of is death when I'm not ready for it. I'm not scared of death because if I'm, as I said before, if I'm 110, I'm gonna be pretty fucking ready for that.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm in a situation where I can choose, quote unquote, to die, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to just be walking one day and get hit by a comet. Like, that's not what I want. I don't want to be hit by a car. Like that's something that worries me a little bit. Like, there's things you can do to prevent that, like not be a complete idiot. Not put forks in electrical sockets. That's a good way to go. Don't do that. But like even if it was in my 60s and I got cancer and it was incurable, it'd be awful, but it wouldn't be the worst thing. Obviously living healthily would be a lot better, but it wouldn't be the worst thing because at least I'd know then. Well, I'll be able to. I know I've got this much time left. You know, now I can plan everything.
You can dictate your life a bit more.
Yeah, I can dictate my life. But if I just get hit by a comet, that's it. If I just get hit by lightning, I'm just toast. That's it. That's the thing that bothers me, that kind of instant finality. Whereas if someone tells me you got 6 months, I can choose how I live that 6 months. I can kind of shape my life and finally say goodbye to the world when I need to say goodbye to the world. I have some control over that.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred way of dying?
Quick. I'd want it to go quick.
Yeah.
But, like, I would obviously like to say goodbye to like loved ones and stuff like that. But I'd rather go quicker. Like, I know like people say I'd rather have a longer time, but I'd rather be told, okay, you have a week than 6 months, because if you have 6 months, that's just going to be taken in the back of your head, okay, I'm going to die in this amount of time. Whereas with a week, it's come and gone.
Yeah, I mean, I want time to settle my life, though. All the people that I've fallen out with and never come to terms with. I want to say goodbye to everyone I've ever met. I want to make peace with everyone I've ever met. I want to do the things that I never got to do. And then I can, settle it, So I think that's where the kind of long term comes from. The long time comes from.
Yeah, I can see the reasoning with that, and I can understand that as well. I mean, it'd be nice to do it, but I would just like, if I had 6 months, I think I would die before the 6 months from like the overthinking of it.
That 6 months becomes 2 weeks.
Yeah, just like I'm overthinking, like I'm gonna die in like 5 months, 4 weeks, and 26 hours. Wow.
There's something else I wanted to say. What do you want done with your body when you die?
I originally wanted to be cremated, because I know obviously burying bodies takes up a lot of space. But it's practical to be cremated because it takes up less space. But like I said, I watched that interview, and like he says, you go into a state of inexistence. If you're buried, your body burns down energy and it goes off into the environment. So I suppose if you be buried, you're giving something back to the planet. I still think personally, I'm gonna ask to be cremated, but whatever happens to me happens. I'm not gonna have any control over it at the end of the day. I can make a wish, but if that's granted or not, that's down to the people that sort it out.
Well, if you make a will, they have to abide by it. They can't go away from the will. It's illegal. I want to be cremated and then turned into a tree. Like I want to be cremated, and I want to be mixed in with a couple of seeds. Then I want to be put in a plot, and that plot to grow into a tree. So I'm just a tree for the rest of the time. Because that to me, then I want to be a fruit tree as well. Not one of those shitty flower trees. Like that's a low energy tree. You want You want a nice high energy fruit tree. You want an apple tree, something like that. That's what I want, because that way I think my ashes are giving something back to the earth. You know, it's giving, that tree wouldn't exist without me. Literally wouldn't exist. They wouldn't have had the nutrients to grow. So that's what I want done with my ashes. And then my family can visit that tree knowing that they're visiting me in a way. You know, they're and the fruits are gifts from my remains. You know. So I that's what I want. That's me kind of wanting to give that little bit back, like you were saying. You know.
Definitely a nice idea. Something I personally not thought about, but I can see the why you want to do that. It's a nice idea.
Yeah. So, from that subject of death, it's time to close the podcast out. But first, I need to ask you one very important question that I ask every guest on this podcast. If you've watched it before, you will know what this question is. I need to ask you, are traps gay?
Don't know, are they?
Well, I'm asking you. I have my own opinions on this, but...
Say the question one more time.
Are traps gay?
Are traps gay?
Yeah.
What sort of trap?
So let me give you the Urban Dictionary definition of the word trap. Just bear with me a second. Here we go. A trap is a pre-operation trans woman who is both passable and hot, and looks like a woman, but is actually a man. And often they try to seek sex with men. And of course, when you lift the skirt up, you realise that's not a woman. She got a sausage there, you know. So are traps gay?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, that's controversial. You're the first no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Because you close your eyes, it could be a man or woman behind you. Doesn't matter. Just close your eyes and go with it. That's all I'm going with, because...
But what if you feel dick slapping off?
Doesn't matter, man. I'm in the moment. Just take it and leave it. You see a woman, from first glance, you see a woman. From that point, that's what I'm judging. Anything after is just desserts.
Fair enough. So there we have it. This week, traps are not gay. My guest has been Ryan Masters. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'll send you all the links over.
Yeah, links are going to be down in the description below. That was it for the Dan James Show. Like this on Facebook, favourite this on Twitter, share it on Facebook and Twitter, like this on SoundCloud, like this on YouTube, like it on all the things. We should be back on Saturday with Calalon. He's a Romanian guy who I'm going to interview about Romania. That's going to be a good episode. I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you for coming on, Ryan.
Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed it.
Awesome. Say goodbye.
Bye, peeps.
Bye.